first video that I posted on my channel was titled How to Overcome BEATBLOCK for Good. While I think there was merit to the points in that video, I feel like I could do a better job today. In my opinion, the first step to overcoming this BEATBLOCK is asking why you want to make music, whether it's a hobby or you want it to be a full-time profession. As soon as you know why you want to do it, that will allow you to have the motivation and discipline to actually get results. If your why for making beats is not strong enough, you're never going to actually want to do it. So if you want to do it as a profession, then you're just going to be making beats once a month and they're not going to be as good as they could be if you had more of a schedule in place. That brings me on to the second point. Most producers and most people start off with motivation for action and then results. Now, this is not good because you might not always have the motivation to want to make a beat, but sometimes you just need to make the beat. Most days you don't wake up feeling like, yes, I'm going to produce this full song, but sometimes you have to get it done if you want to reach the professional stage. So what I'd recommend trying to do is start the action to create that motivation, which makes the results. So what I mean is trying out different things in your door. So let's say you schedule a time in the day where you sit down to make beats and to produce. You would come into your door and you would just start with anything. So start with your drums, start with your piano, and just get anything down. It doesn't have to be good, but the potential of sparking that motivation and sparking them ideas is very, very valuable. So remember, action, motivation, then results. Because you're not always going to want to do it, but sometimes you might have. Another way to actually spark you wanting to make the beats, to spark that motivation, is looking at your old beats. So presuming that you've been producing for a little while, you will have improved from your first beat. That is just how things work. So if you go back and you start looking at your old things, you can see how much you've improved and get inspired from it. And I've recently started going to my old beats and improving them because there was a lot of ideas that just needed little tweaks and stuff, and maybe you could find that in your catalog. Not only this, but it also could inspire new ideas. Let's say you hear an old beat and you hear what you're going for, but you couldn't quite do it. You can now try and create that result with your newfound skills. Another practical method to being able to overcome this beat block is by trying out a different genre that you're not used to. Now, I did this here, and I've never made a drum and bass track. But one day I decided, okay, I'm going to do it. And the way that you make a genre that you don't know is by doing some sort of research for it. So I researched the common elements on it. I even looked up other beats that are similar, and then I seen the type of range in the BPM, the type of keys that they use. And this all sounds boring, but trust me, it will help you actually making a decent song. Because once you know what makes the other ones so great, you can do that and add it to your own. So if we take a listen. So we got this bass here, and this bass I made in Vital, yeah. So yeah, I just looked up the things that I used, I found brass hits. And I'd say that's pretty good for the first time making a genre. This would have never happened if I didn't try something new instead of forcing a genre that I wasn't really doing well in. Like, I was trying to make hip hop and it just wasn't working. So instead of keep trying to make hip hop and just making terrible beats and feeling like shit, try a different genre and then go back to your original genre, because you might feel that love for it again. Remember, this is a very creative thing, and not all the time you're going to be in that creative mindset. So doing as many things as possible to spark that will just make your production better. So starting a new genre will spark that creativity because you have more of a free range to do things. I think a lot of the time people, especially when they make a main genre a lot, get stuck in that genre and sometimes forget that, you can branch out and be creative with it. So this is a very good idea. The final one is using a sample. Now, samples are sometimes looked down upon for whatever reason. It depends what you do with the sample. Now, I've broke down this specific beat in a couple other videos, but basically what I did is I got the sample, I figured out the bass notes needed, and then I added in my own elements on top of the sample and then chopped. But I've not just dragged the sample and dragged the drum loop and said that's that. I've added things and done things, but without that sample, it wouldn't have sparked that creativity. So if we take a listen. can tell like the beat just sounds really nice. So let me skip it. There's like different elements, like that flute was mine. Obviously the drums are, the piano as well. So yeah, definitely try experimenting with samples. There's lots of free sites that you can use, like Looperman, etc. That's all I could think of. But yeah, this video is a lot shorter than the original video, but I hope this did help. I just wanted to keep the points concise and get you making beats. Obviously you got BeatBLOCK, I don't want to distract you even more. So hope you have a good day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.